And so here's all the different sort of methods that, that are typical within a convention. I'm sure I'm forgetting some as well, helicopters and, some of the others, but, we've done helicopters also, right? So, but over the years, regenerative and organic systems have been used throughout the Apical customer base. And they've used all these different types of crop input methods in order to build resilient organic systems. And I'm not saying that this is it, right? So, cover cropping and living mulching and, animal integration and rotational grazing and all these other things. Obviously, these are, key parts to any, organic system and regenerative method if that's the route you go. But I wanted to bring these up because oftentimes, like I said, growers don't understand that. They think, oh, well, we're going to be running sheep in the orchard. Well, there are guys that do run sheep in the orchard, but you don't have to start there, right? Or there are guys that are running chickens in a vineyard, but that's not where you necessarily have to start, right? You can just start by putting softer chemistry in your spray tank, right? You can start by, putting a granular mineral package out once per season based on soil analysis. You can start, with some biological band sprays or some targeted micronutrient foliar sprays based on sap analysis. These are very, very simple and easy changes that you can make on your farm. And, you can read just about any other book on organic and sustainable farming about the reasons why, right? Pest and disease, predation, habitat, so on and so on and so on. There's always, a million different reasons why some of these practices can long-term, help you to invest in your farm instead of staying on a continual treadmill, applying soluble fertilizers, ad infinitum into infinity, right? This helps you reinvest in your farm, drive down input costs over time, save water, save fertilizer, and move on. And so when those inputs get applied consistently in coordination with leaf analysis or soil analysis, this is what we're seeing over and over and over throughout our customer base. Growers, over time, they start to build soil health. They start to, their plant's productivity, in any different number of ways improves. They start to, think differently. They approach chemicals and chemical inputs a bit differently. Resilience, and in certain cases where growers really, really do a great job of building full systems, they get to the final stage of insect resistance against some of their longer term, systemic pests. And by the time they're there, they're getting organic certification. Everybody's typically going to make some degree of extra return on their crop. So why are growers able to achieve some of these benefits in regenerative and organic systems? So what I would say is the more that the systems are customized to fit the actual soil environment, plant environment, the more they're going to reap benefits back to the grower. So it's not that odd of a concept, right? It's just that we're starting to drill down with precision in what we're doing. We're just applying the 4 R's of agronomy on a very micro scale, on a micro level, right place, right input, right time, and right amount. So by doing that in precision ways and with precision leaf and soil analysis, you get different results. And the customization of inputs and microbes and so on is a very common thing now. There's a lot of different companies out there doing custom work. And, we maintain an active network of manufacturers that can really help to customize crop inputs and make them work for you in a much more targeted way. Everything from the biologicals to soil minerals, all the way through to granular NPK. So ultimately, though, there's a huge shift that needs to happen within the mind of the applier before the change can start to take place. And I think there's oftentimes a big cloud over the organic regenerative industry because there's not necessarily different enough classifications of the fertilizers as there are with the traditional inputs, right? So this is a this is a 32 solution, or this is this is a high P fertilizer, or this is a NKP, or whatever it might be, right? So I put together this slide because what we've seen is there's a lot of different types of inputs out there that people may hear about, or you may see something at a trade show, or there's a flyer, and next thing you know, you're like, oh, well, this thing says it's gonna, do X, Y, and Z for my crop. And, we need to apply, 4 gallons to the acre at, $300, per acre per season, or what have you. But you don't even know what it is, what classification is, what its intended use is. And so there's a bunch of different categories that I see, and I'm sure there's others that I'm not touching on, but these are a few of the ones now that are common in the marketplace. So starting off, from what you might know all the way towards things that you might not know. And that would be carbon complex conventional fertilizers. So, things that come with a humic acid or a fulvic acid, or complex with some other type of organic acid, soluble organic fertilizers, such as like a fish emulsion or a fish liquid or fish hydrolysate, soy protein hydrolysate, that sort of thing. You might have heard, over the years, of micronized mineral powders or micronized mineral suspensions. Nanoparticle suspensions is just one step down from micron, right? So once you get below 1 micron, you're into nanoparticle range. There's a number of different nanoparticle suspension products out there on the market of all different shapes and sizes. You get to soluble carbon ferments. That's a totally different category, where growers are taking carbon and any number of different inputs and fermenting them in a tank for anywhere from 12 hours to multiple days, or multiple months, or multiple years in some cases. Live microbes, all right? So everybody's favorite snake oil that they hear about, but can't quite get to work. We've seen a lot of incredible benefits from live microbes, and even dead microbes, frankly. Exudates in biopesticides are a common way that microbial inoculants are used, is in biopesticide form. But then you also have microbial stimulators, right? So say you've got a reasonably active soil, but it just went through a weather stress event. You might use something like a microbial stimulator instead of an actual microbe to make the soil health come alive again. Natural pesticides. Carbon is king. Thanks again very much, and look forward to seeing you all next week. Take care.